You guys are in for a supersized combo meal of a video today. Not only do we have another episode of wins and losses, another month to wrap up, it's also the end of quarter one. I even wrote an outline to keep all of this shit straight. It's just, there's like a lot to go over. It has also come to my attention that just doing my personal finances, like just my personal checking account and just my personal credit card, is not encompassing the entire scenario. It's just not cutting it. So we're gonna have a peek at my business finances and our household finances so that we get kind of like a fuller picture. Not really for you, but for like my accountability. Like I said, it's the super value month of episodes. Plus we have some projects coming up, like Emmett's first birthday party. We're doing a swing project that we're gonna need to budget for. So let's just jump into it. Let's wrap up March. So there were a ton of positive moments in March. I'm really starting to get the hang of this. Dan and I have instituted monthly money meetings. So we do it early in the month. We've done it for the last 3 months. Will it stick? I hope so. It gets us talking about stuff and seeing exactly where we're at on a regular basis so that we can make adjustments in closer to real time than like when we just talked about money when there was a problem. Yes, they are sometimes contentious when we have different opinions about things, but it is so necessary. And I'm kicking myself that we've been together 10 years and we've just started to do this on a regular basis. So if you're new in a relationship, getting married, take some advice. Talk about money with your partner. Like the number one reason for divorce in America is money issues. So at least talk about it, at least know where you're at. There was a big consignment sale in March. They happen in March and October in my area, and it's all like children's stuff. I went March of last year when I was still pregnant with Emmett, and I got him like 2 little outfits. I did not go, even though I wanted to, because I did not trust myself not to buy things I didn't need. And the one thing I needed, which is this climbing gym thing, I was able to find on Facebook Marketplace. I was able to negotiate my price a little bit. Yes, Emmett hates it right now, but I'm hoping that he likes it in the future. This is precisely the reason I don't buy him a bunch of stuff right now. Oh my gosh. So I hinted to this in my last video. Our tax refund landed. Oh my God. And since we're being all transparent and stuff, it was a whopping $8,897. Ah! That is federal and state combined. My accountant is very nice and good. When I became a business entity, she was like, okay, we're getting you on payroll. We're taking out taxes out of every single one of your paychecks. I'm like, oh no, that's so much money. Ah, it helped. I can't tell you what a relief it is to have some cushion in our house accounts and to be able to like pay the bills we had to pay. We were also able to take the $2,000 tax credit that we got for Emmett and put it in a high yield savings account just for him. He only had like $550 from money that was given to us for our baby shower and when he was born, and we were just like sitting on it and didn't really know what to do. And so we got this tax refund. We opened a high yield savings account for him and we're just gonna park it there for now. We'll do something a little more creative with it to grow it a little faster at some point. But for now, it just feels so good to feel like we're doing a good thing for him. So hopefully we can just continue to do that every year. So it's like kind of a college fund. So another chunk of the tax refund went to paying off the Capital One, which continues to get a bunch of money charged onto it. And we're still trying to figure out why that happens. Obviously we spent money on it, but like, why? Obviously I'm not a credit card person and neither is my husband. Another chunk went to pay the car insurance, which I'll talk more about in the not so great moments. And the rest of the money we haven't really siphoned off anywhere. We're just kind of holding on to it. We put a little bit into our house high yield savings account so it can at least gain some interest. And we're just kind of giving ourselves some cushion, which we did not have before. And it feels like a breath of fresh spring air. Okay, another great thing that happened this month. Somebody bought me a SodaStream. And that somebody didn't tell me they were buying me a SodaStream. I just got an email that said, hey, your SodaStream that you ordered is on your way. I'm like, is this a scam? Is my internet really listening to me? No. My wonderful sister-in-law, who watches my channel, hi Sarah, I guess got so tired of me talking about my SodaStream struggles that she ordered me a SodaStream. You can watch my unboxing of that new SodaStream in my shorts. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. And I'm really at a moral dilemma about getting rid of my current one because we did fix it. Dan ordered a new lever, so it works perfectly fine now. So now I have 2 beautiful SodaStreams. What's gonna happen? The current SodaStream we have has a screw-in connection for the CO2. The new one has like the quick connect. So once we run out of screw canisters, we will switch over to the Quick Connect canister. And what Dan is gonna do is he's going to drill a hole in our countertop and get like a big 20-pound CO2 canister, install it underneath the counter, and then we like never have to change the CO2. After we run out of the 2 CO2 canisters that come preloaded with the new SodaStream. Anyway, long story short, the SodaStream saga, far from over, but there is a new machine. I am not down a SodaStream. I know you were all so worried. And the final like noteworthy thing is I did my first acting job since I got pregnant with Emmett. The check finally came. Now it's not a whole bunch of money, but it's a little bit of a cushion, and it's a reminder to me that I liked acting in film and television and I should do more of that, which would require me to put energy into that, and I just don't know if I have that right now, but we'll see. So that little bit of cushion in my checking account is going to help with some of the projects around the house that I want to get done that I don't really necessarily feel good about using house funds for. So let's get into the not so great moments. There were a couple. First and foremost, October is coming. Yes, I know this is the March wrap up, but October is when the personal loan that Dan took out last year needs to start being paid back by us. So we took out this personal loan when we had just had the baby, money was tight. We thought the medical bill was gonna be one thing. We were gonna consolidate some credit cards. It just seemed like the right choice for us at the time. And it was helpful. We did consolidate a lot of the credit cards, and that really helped us minimize the amount of payments we were making on a monthly basis. Fun story though, we only used a chunk of the money. So we took out $30,000. We only ended up actually using 18 because we didn't end up putting any of it towards the medical bill, which is why I agreed to take it out. Neither here nor there. The money that we didn't use of the personal loan, we've just been using to pay the personal loan back so that we didn't add this payment to our monthly payments. That money runs out in October. And then we will be responsible for supplying the money to pay the personal loan back. It'll be about $700 a month. But we'll get more into that in October. Caleb Hammer, just close your ears. Just close your ears. I think I'm gonna let the medical bill debt go to collections. Hear me out. I think the fact that my deductible got reset the day that Emmett was born is bullshit. I think the fact that I basically owe then my entire deductible plus Emmett's entire deductible is bullshit. I think the fact that I'm getting new insurance April 1st and it's probably gonna mess up something is bullshit. So I've been told that medical debt and collections doesn't affect your credit the way that like credit card debt or a way higher interest debt would hurt your credit. Since there is no interest on this medical bill, basically what the hospital told me was that like if you don't make 2 payments in a row, let past me tell you about it.
So remember how in my March video, yes, I'm wearing the same thing because I wear this sweater all the time. Yay, outfit repeater. Remember how I was talking about how the medical bill went up and I didn't really know why? Well, I just got the loveliest call from a fabulous woman who works at Wellstar in their billing department. And she called me and was like, hey, BT Dubs, that amount went up because your insurance just got back to us that they weren't gonna cover $500 more of a bill, of part of your bill. It has been exactly 9 months, and there is still $1,900 that insurance has not gotten back to Wellstar about. So now, I was just paying what I could afford, or what I was like able to provide, and I'd been doing that for the last 2 months. She also informed me that because I hadn't paid the full payment plan amount for the last 2 months, the last 2 payments, that they were going to send the bill to collections. So I was like, hey, slow your roll. I have like a hang up about collections. Dan is fine with bills going to collections. I'm less fine with things going to collections. So I ponied up and paid the $545.80 that was overdue on my payment plan so that it wouldn't go to collections. I hate that the biggest factor in my husband and I deciding if we want to have another kid is if we can afford it. And if we want to deal with all of this. Again, $12,000. $12,000 and counting.
So basically what I've learned is that the collection company will pay the hospital like a certain amount to basically just wipe my debt from the hospital's books. And they'll pay way less than what I owe. And then they'll call me and hound me and call me and hound me. And then we will settle it for way less than what I originally owed. That's how I understand that it works. I need to research basically like what leverage I have, because come October, I don't want to be paying my portion of the personal loan and this hospital bill, because I think the hospital bill is bullshit anyway. And I know it's like I accrued the debt. It happened. But I actually didn't like have a choice. I really want to be a person who pays for bills. But at this point, our finances are complex enough that something like this feels like option for me. And side note, one of the biggest factors of me choosing to do this, because Dan told me to do it from the get-go, I was like, no, I can't let a bill go to collections. Who do you think I am? I'm a person who pays her bills. I come from people who pay we pay our bills. I had other friends of mine be like, no, I let my medical bills go to collection. Like, that's the leverage we have. That's how we like fight the system. And then I was talking to my dad about it. And I was like, but don't worry, Dad, like this is big, but I'm not gonna let it, I'm gonna pay it. And he's like, why? Let it go to collections. I've done that. The man who I literally thought would be the most pissed at me for letting a bill go to collections was my dad, because I thought he would be disappointed in me. I thought he would be disappointed in the fact that I like did this thing and then I couldn't pay for it. But he's like, no, if you think that it's wrong, let it go to collections. You've done everything you can do. You tried to apply for financial aid. You tried to work with the hospital. You tried to do what you could do, but it's just not enough. Let it go to collections. So if I'm not gonna disappoint my dad, I don't care. I've got a house. The only reason I would need to take advantage of my credit score at any point in the near future is to get a new car. But then Dan was like, I'll just co-sign with you if we need to get you a new car in the next like 5 years. So I think I'm just gonna not pay it. Another thing that happened this month was this big car insurance payment was due. So we pay our car insurance in 6-month increments, which really turns into 4 different payments in March, May, September, and November. We did it that way for the longest time because it was saving us money. Now it's not saving us any money. So A, I think I need to shop for new car insurance, but B, probably just pay monthly to like help my budget so we don't get dinged with these huge car insurance payments every, couple of months. Luckily, that tax refund came through and we were able to use that money to pay for it. But like these big bills just keep like popping up and it's insane. It's basically a lot of hoop jumping. Like I feel like I've got it under control and then all of a sudden there's a thing that's like, oh yeah, by the way, car insurance due, or oh hey, property taxes are going up by 500%. It's like you just can't win. But I'm trying to simplify all of this as much as I can so that I feel like I can handle it. And here's the other thing. We got this big tax refund and we were like, yeah, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some money in Emmett's fund. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're going to pay off the Capital One. Okay, we're gonna pay this Geico bill. But then that left some left over, obviously. And immediately we're like, okay, well, I wanna do this swing project outside. Okay, well, we wanna have our neighbors do some yard work for us because they own a landscaping company. Okay, my husband's on Gov Deals looking at auctions. He's like, I want a shed. I want a new refrigerator. And that worries me. Like both of us seem to have like so little self-control. Like if we see that the money's there, we want to like use it for something. Yeah, and that just worries me. I didn't really think I was like that. We're not so tempted by like little things, but when we get like a big chunk of money, we're like, okay, I want to do this big project. I want to put new insulation in the attic or a new thermostat or, oh, hey, we're going to need a new air conditioner soon. Why don't we just go get it? Why do we do that? But let's look at the spending graph. So for March, my bills were $1,200. That's the money I put into the house account to cover the gas bill, the power bill, the water, the mortgage. So it was 61.8% of my spend, which, we're getting closer to the 50%. That's not bad. Savings, I put $150 away. So we did the 50 to the, Fidelity, and I know it's not a lot, and like it's not really accruing that much interest, but it's something, and that's what I can do right now. And I've already missed the best decade of my life for compound growth, my 20s, so at least in my 30s I'm going to try to put in something, even if I'm not maxing out my contribution. And then the rest was to my high yield savings account. I spent $44.68 on bullshit. 40 of it was at Home Depot getting some paint for some railings for Emmett's bed, and a couple of herbs to refresh our herb garden for the spring and summer. Did I need those things? No. Are they irresponsible spending? No, I don't think so. But it's still bullshit I didn't need. And then the medical debt. Blech. But that'll be the last time you see this on this pie chart. But that was all my personal spending. Let's wrap up the debt savings. Wells Fargo credit card, $0. The medical debt, which I'm not paying anymore. Personal loan, still haven't done any of that. The loan to our father-in-law, still haven't done any of that. But because of the Capital One payoff, because I did lower the medical bill a little bit, my debt owed out to people is down to $17,767.75. It's down a little bit. We're gonna look at the monthly graph here in a second. Wait a minute. But cash to my name, Fidelity, Amex, my Smarty Pig. So money to my name. That doesn't include my checking account. $7,467.87. How's that compare to previous months? Take a look. I know that this does not look like it is going down very much, but now with 3 months worth of information input, we can see that slowly, by little amounts, the debt is going down. And then the green, the savings, is going up little by little. If you look at the numbers on the right-hand side, like you can obviously see the savings has gone from $6,900 to $7,400 in these 3 months. I'm happy with that because the debt has also gone down at a similar rate. So from January, we started with almost $19,000, and now we are 17.7. Nothing to shake a tail feather at, man. Like, I am making it happen. These are good margins. They are small, but they are always going in the right direction. And for that, I am grateful. But that is just my stuff, those 2 accounts. And that doesn't really give you a full picture. So here's your extra content. I am now realizing that just doing my personal account stuff is not giving me a full picture of where my spending and saving is. I don't spend anything on my personal checking, very rarely. $44, that's not a lot. I just spend money to pay bills. I don't put anything on my personal credit card. So if you're like, Casey, you can't afford your mortgage on $1,700 a month. Something else is going on here. This isn't helpful or insightful anymore, and I can't learn from it. I understand. And you would be correct. There is more going on here. So I'm opening the gates. I'm bearing it all. So if you didn't know, I am a full-time photographer. I own my own photography company. I'm a photographer by day, YouTube by other parts of the day/night. But mostly I do entertainment photography. Think headshots, production photos of theater, concerts, things like that. You will see some videos on here about that at some point. So let's talk about my business overview. My business account is where all of my clients pay their invoices. It's also where I pay myself and my contractor and my other bills, like subscriptions and services that I use for my photography business. I pretty much only spend money for work, like getting food out. I only do when I'm in between shoots or I'm going to a shoot. I don't do it when I'm coming home from a shoot. I've made that a rule. And all my gas goes on my business card, unless I'm like taking a long trip or something for vacation or something like that. So my business pays for all of that stuff. If I wasn't a business owner, things like gas would be another part of my expenses, but it's just not. Basically what I'm saying is I'm a really cool person who only goes places if I'm paid to be there. I'm a celebrity. No, I'm just cheap and boring. So last month there was about $7,500 of income. Withdrawals from the checking account were about $5,000. That includes credit card payments, that includes my payroll, that includes payments for my contractors, subscriptions and services and things like that. So more came in than went out, which is great. And the bank account still has $12,000 in it, so like we're building up a nest egg. I'm not gonna get in the nitty gritty because I like don't think I'm allowed to, supposed to. But overall, I feel like this is in good shape. Now I only became like a business entity in January of 2023. That was the first time that I separated my business and personal. So I haven't had really a chance to mess this up yet. My accountant basically has saved my butt multiple times by helping me grow up and have a real business. I do have the fancy gold Amex. For my business account, I live in Atlanta. What do you want from me? Delta is kind of the aesthetic. And I really like having that card. It's really helpful. It's been really great. I really only put like the rental for my studio on there and some other subscriptions and other things. But as soon as I have a balance on there, I pay it off. It's just a way for me to earn points. So I'm like a business credit card person, but like not a personal one. Q1 is usually one of the busier times for my business. Everybody's nonprofit money has come in. It's a brand new fiscal year. People are willing to spend some money on things like having a photographer for their events and shows and concerts and things. So after I make it through a full year of analyzing my income and expenses for just business stuff, and I make it through the slow seasons and things like that, then I'm gonna start a business savings account. That is a goal of mine here shortly. I probably should have done it by now, but I don't feel like I have enough money and I really want to get through the slow season and see if I can still pay my payroll without having to like cut anything. And my assistant and I are about to do our first Q1 review. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. I can already tell that transfer fees between Gusto and QuickBooks are going to be so high, and I'm going to be so mad, and I'm going to want to find a solution. But that's what these meetings are about. That's why staying on top of your finances is important, is figuring out where you're losing money and figuring out how to stop doing it. P.S. Don't worry about my taxes. Obviously, my accountant has got me on lockdown. Out of every one of my paychecks, we withhold about 35% just to make sure that we cover everything. It's a pain in the ass every payday because I only make $1,700 a month net, but it was really great come tax time. Okay, so for our house stuff, Dan and I both put money in every week from our checking accounts into the house checking account to cover things like bills, subscriptions, and credit card payments. We put all our groceries and most of our bills on the Capital One. The smaller bills like the water and power get pulled right from the checking account from the house. And then I pay the Capital One bill every week, mostly. We put in what is good for each of us. So Dan makes a little bit over twice as much money as I do every month. So we try to put into the house account what's proportionate for our incomes, especially since I'm also full-time childcare. So in March, which was a crazy outlier because of our crazy tax refund, we put about $13,000 in the house account. And we also withdrew about $8,000. Now, that includes money going away into Emmett's savings account. That also includes our big credit card payment. That also includes our big Geico payment. So these are things that normally don't need to happen. We're usually putting in about 4 and taking out about 3 to cover our like normal necessary bills, which is great, but like we could be doing better. So now for April goals. March was nuts. We had lots of incoming, but we did have lots of stuff that needed to go out. And looking at all of it together sounds to me, and probably especially to you, complicated. And I'm forever going to be trying to streamline this. As a minimalist, like all of these different accounts and all of these different ins and out dates and all of these due dates and all of these bill pay dates make me want to die. But with less debt, this will obviously be easier. As I stop using my personal credit card, this will get easier. As I streamline my savings goals and have more money to put towards each of them so I feel like they're being fully funded, it'll get easier. As I'm investing at some point, I hope this will get easier. But when you're broke, everything feels hard. So that's it. All things money for March. Thank you for chowing down on this super value-sized episode. These videos are making me wildly accountable for my spending, but also for my saving. And it makes me want to bring in more money, which is great. But I'm still proud of even the small progress that we're making. So if you're out there on your own savings journey and your own paying down debt journey, I see you. I got you. We are in this together. My no spend year, my no buy year is definitely tough, but I think I'm making it work. I'm feeling good about it. So check back soon for more videos about how I'm handling my no buy year, some of the things I'm doing to remain sustainable, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.